start by taking a look at the goals. You talked about confidence, and you talked about the kind of confidence that strikers in particular can get from scoring goals. Oyarzabal has been so important for Spain, and it was another important goal for him.
Yes, very, very important goal. When I heard sometimes people, they are a bit in doubt with Spain because of the centre forward, and I think Oyarzabal is just doing the job. He's scoring goals, apart from the first game, which he didn't score. But here we see his movement, very clever position. He stops his run to get the cut back, and he's very good finisher in the box. Look how he steps back a little bit. The centre back just goes in the line.
Absolutely. I think he benefited from two extremely good fullbacks in his team, but also Lamine Yamal. We've talked about him and we will talk about him in the future. But when you know you've got somebody on your side who attracts so much attention, that means you get more space. What he does so brilliantly, he uses that space. He gets in right positions, and when he gets the ball, he scores.
We will talk about those fullbacks in a little bit more detail, mainly in terms of what they created, Joe. But Pedro Porro also got his name on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, again, really good timing, very similar position to that Oyarzabal finish there. I think Spain is so patient and they're just picking their moments. I think Oyarzabal is a striker. I love him. I've not really paid too much attention to him and all the big names in this tournament, but so calm. But this smelling danger here, Cucurella out there to Bernat, and then as he arrives here, Baena bailed on that. But it's a beautiful finish, and it's a great moment for Pedro Porro because we weren't sure who was going to start today. And he's quite an emotional player. I noticed that with Tottenham. And when his confidence is high, he really plays to his best. This is a massive moment for him and for Spain coming in. It's a really good header, really good goal at an important time in the game.
Yeah, the fullbacks were so important for Spain today, and we'll look at their role in a little more detail. But for Porro to get the goal as well, Cesar, was just the sort of icing on the cake.
Yeah, he had a great game against Saudi as well as Saudi Arabia, getting in great positions. And today through the game we could see he was in the inside positions and sometimes overlapping Yamal. So he created a lot of danger, and the goal is top quality because to get that ambition to get into the 6-yard box and score a great header is very important. And as a full-back, you always want to get in the box and to score a goal. So I'm very happy for Porro, yeah.
And when we talked about Oyarzabal and how important he's been, 17 goals in 17 games, including really significant ones. For example, in a European final. But in this game in particular, because of the criticism that maybe he's had and because he does go under the radar, there are bigger names in this side. How important is it that he can keep on delivering in what is quite a low-key way?
Yeah, his profile, I think a few years ago he was playing more on the right wing and he transitioned a bit more as a centre forward. And here we can see how the timing of the run is so good, and the finish right foot.
That's a beautiful finish.
It's not easy with the
so
keeper.
Clever, watching it come across his body. Schlager spreads well.
I hope you don't mind me saying the Austrian defenders, they're switched off completely. That was the stage of the game, but
they checked out there, Thomas.
The space is big, but still the right timing. We see often the strikers, they get in offside positions because they rush it too early, and the finish is very good.
I mean, it's also a great ball through from Cucurella, and he and Porro were fantastic today. Just explain about the importance of the role of those fullbacks within that Spain setup.
They are very important in the setup of Spain. We've seen tonight 2 assists from Cucurella and 1 goal from Porro, which they are determining the score. So it's very important, and the way also they control the positioning is very good, counter-pressing position, and I think they feel when they need to go forward or when they need to stay back and have a bit more control of the game, which I think is very important.
I think to have that attacking impression on the game and also not give up a chance really in the whole 90 minutes is a massive compliment, because ultimately they're on there to defend, but they can add that to the game as well. Yeah. That makes them a real threat.
Because maybe when you have offensive fullbacks, you expect to be exposed, and they haven't. So. No. It's very impressive.
Well, particularly when we talked about the selection of Porro over Llorente, you were saying, well, maybe he's a bit better on the ball, but the idea was that he was just going to be kept very busy defensively rather than being able to get forward as much.
Yeah, and I was a bit surprised in the first half. He was getting in offensive position more than expected, because also we've seen Yamal going more towards the centre of the pitch. And, also his positioning allowed Yamal to to move a bit with more freedom, and also he wanted to score that goal that he got it in the second half.
Yeah, those wings are so strong for Spain. It isn't just about the fullbacks, as we've been saying, it's about the wingers in front of them as well, and the relationships down the side.
Works really well. I mean, we talked about Nico Williams not being available, and you think, this is tough for Spain, but look at the squad. There's so many players that can easily come in, and it just, as I said, they get better and better in that understanding. We said before the game, when Lamin's on the ball, Pedro Porro needs to fill in the gaps. But today, it was easy. It's almost an advantage, because it's at a certain point in the game you thought they can go through the motions, because Austria, they weren't threatening them. And, on the way to the final, if they make it all the way, then maybe today was one of those games where they could, spare some energy because they weren't tested. But due to the fact that both fullbacks and the wingers played extremely well.
And we know how effective Spain have been under Luis de la Fuente and not lost a tournament game under him. But you've touched on it a few times, the idea that Austria didn't put up much opposition past the first 10-15 minutes of the game. Is this something that they've been guilty of under Rangnick at crucial points in tournaments?
Yeah, he's created this buzz around the team. He's been there for 4 years now, and he's made a lot of changes, and it worked really well. But in big games, and I always argue, because he has such a big impact on football in Germany and in Austria. But when it really matters, he hasn't won many trophies. In the Euros 2 years ago, they went into the tournament thinking, Austria, you have to really think of them. And then they lose to Turkey very early on in the tournament. And here again, we all know it was a tough group. Argentina was there, and Algeria, good teams, and you play against Spain. And yet today, they were so far off their best. I think they lost their identity. They're not playing to their strength. They're struggling. Who do we want to be? And you could see that today. And that's why I think they'll go home disappointed, and they'll face some criticism.
They will face some criticism, and Rangnick will face some criticism. As far as Spain are concerned, though, it's all going absolutely swimmingly. Lamine Yamal is their superstar player, and yet, in terms of goal contributions today, relatively quiet. However, we have got a very special Joe Hart selection of some of his best bits, including quite a few nutmegs in this game, Joe.
Yeah, he was just really, really enjoying the game. But this is just his general play today. He was excellent. He was on it. You can tell he wants his name up in lights in this tournament, and he knows how important he is to this Spain team. But he wants numbers. He wants goals. But he looks so composed, and we're looking at him getting back to his fitness. On the press there, as the ball turns over, he's the threat. He's the one the Spanish players are looking to, and he's sucking all the Austrian players in, almost giving Oyarzabal, who was having so much freedom in the middle, to score the goals. But he looks like he's coming to light at the right time for Spain, someone they can definitely rely on, but he just wants to get those numbers, those goals.
And that's the thing. In terms of his overall contribution today, he played well. He is the player that everybody will be looking at, but he's also the player that the opposition are kind of focused on trying to stop. And in the meantime, there's so much attacking talent in that Spain side.
Yeah, Austria tried to defend him by doubling up with Lemmer and Sabitzer, and they did quite well, to be fair, but also that gives more space for the teammates. So yeah, I guess he would like to have some contribution in terms of numbers, assists, goals, because attacking players, they always want that, but overall he had a great game.
From a fullback point of view, though, Cesar, he's relentless. He keeps coming and coming. It's not just little 5 minutes here and there. It must be such a headache to play against.
And it looks effortless. He doesn't seem to wear out. Only when he's taken off.
Yeah.
But he enjoys it. It's fun. Yeah. He loves getting on the pitch, enjoy himself. And you were talking about the nutmegs.
Yeah, let's have a look, shall we?
I think, and it almost the way he did it. I've counted 5, and we probably see all 5 of them. It almost looks to me that before the game, he's going to some of his teammates and said, my goal today is to at least nutmeg 5 people. and he did that. Because we all know as players, it's quite special to do this. And he's serious enough to say, of course he wants to score goals. But these nutmegs, this is not a coincidence. It's not just something that happens. I think he had this on his mind before he stepped onto the pitch.
And a little something for everybody to enjoy from Lamine Yamal, even if he didn't get the goal or the assist that he was looking for in this game. So Spain has